So I know no one's on right now. When they do get on, I'm going to be going over the best baits for my tackle box. So I guess I'll just get ready if I get anyone on. So in the spring, when you're fishing, there's so many lures to choose from. So let's go over the best ones. Now I'm probably going to start with my hard baits. And when you're out in more open water, even around cover, but this is not something you're pitching to places, a crankbait, especially a square bill in the red color, because it imitates the crawfish that are running around, and it gets a really good reaction bite from a lot of these fish. It's so good. You can have so many different colored variations to that, but I really like the red in the spring. Another thing, especially in windy, cloudy days when the bait is all stirred up, I love using jerk baits. They just work so well. And I've had days where I catch like 10 fish in an hour using a jerk bait on a windy day. You can also use just normal crankbaits, but that's for just deeper water. Let's go on to top water, I guess. For top water, in the spring, I'm mostly just going to go frogs, different kinds of top water frogs, just around to cover mats, or sometimes I just see fish hitting on top water, so I'll throw that out. Sometimes, especially in the evening, I can have luck with a whopper plopper, but not always in the spring. Now, let's see. This other box that I have, there's all kinds of stuff in here, but swim baits, they are key. When everyone is banging the bank with stuff like chatterbaits, swim baits can be key to those fish that are getting pressured by super heavy stuff. So yeah, there's all kinds of swim baits. I also have this storm swim bait, which is really nice. And yeah, you can take normal ones, put jig heads on them. And then it's all about matching the hatch. So maybe there's crappie in your pond, but maybe there's bluegill. So yeah, go with that. And then if we're going with rigs, one thing I love to use is like when the fish when you really can't get a bite and you need one, you can use a wacky on like a Senko or something. But there's also drop shots and, like Nico rigs. Hi, GUBGU891. You guys comment if you want me to show you like how to do a Nico rig or any of the other important bass fishing rigs. Otherwise, some other stuff we got. Let's go over like soft plastics. So something really important that happens this spring is the spawn, and that's when those bass are sitting on beds. And when that happens, I use a Texas rig, but I actually use it weightless because I use a weightless Texas rig for the spawning bass because it keeps it in the strike zone for much longer. If they're sitting in like 4 or 5 feet of water and you have like a super heavy weight and the lure just goes straight to the bottom, it's not going to get a good bite. But if you have it fluttering down on that Texas rig, it does really well. So that is why I like to use weightless Texas rigs on spawning bass. Drop a like if you're watching right now, guys. We have 10 people live right now, which is awesome. I don't think I had anyone on when I went over my top water, so I'll go back over that. Something really good, like I already said, is a top water frog, which can be really good. Stuff like this frog, which I just got, you need to cut off part of this because, yeah. Hi, Paramar. I don't even know how to say that. I'm very sorry. But yeah, hello. And like I said already, whopper ploppers can be pretty important. To let Emily Dell 530, I live in Iowa. I have a pond in my backyard where I go fishing, and there's a lot of big bass in there, but I also go out to lakes. And by the way, guys, consider subscribing because this spring I'm joining a bass fishing tournament league, and I'll post videos of the tournaments. So yeah, I also fish all around there. And then I think, yeah, I'll go back over my crankbaits and jerkbaits because people went on. So you see this crankbait? This is super important in spring because it's a red color, and because it is a red color and the crawfish are there in spring, the bass are just, they have so many reaction bites. It's insanely good. Like it if you're watching right now, guys. For like cool, windy days when the water is moving pretty fast and the bait is stirred up, I love using jerk baits. It's just so good. They're super helpful. And then the variations to the crankbaits are, I have so many in this box, so they're all tangled up, but stuff like shad or bluegill colors. There's a lot in here, guys. Yeah. Now, another really important spring bait, probably my favorite bait ever. What's up, Isana Fishing? W channel, guys. You should go sub to him too. Is the chatterbait. Chatterbaits are so important. I catch humongous, like 4+ pound bass on them year round. I have a freeloader Crush City trailer on this one. I just caught a 4-pounder on this right before my pond froze over. And then, I mean, in the spring you can throw swim jigs. They're not the best. Like the stream if you're watching right now, guys. People who weren't there before, I'll go back over my rage tales. And yeah, and another thing is Senkos. Another really important thing in the spring, which I already said, is using the Senkos, and there's a few variations to them. A really good one, super simple, guys. Take any hook, although I don't even have them here, but even just an EWG hook works. Hook it through the middle, bounce it up and down, just drop it slowly in the water, and so many bass will hit this, and you will catch so many fish on it. I've caught a 5.5 pounder on it, which is kind of crazy. And then, yeah, you can also do something called the Nico rig, where you take a nail weight, you hook it through here, and then, yeah, you just have to slowly, it's kind of hard, you push it through the head of here, and make sure that where your nail weight is, your hook is facing the other way. That's really important to get bites. So, like that, boom, Nico rig. So the way this is going to work in the water, say this is the bottom, it's going to bounce off this, and yeah, it's really important. Palmar Gurav, you're taking notes? Yeah, so Yum Dinger, super cheap, Senko, buy a pack of these, you can catch them, get a little hook. And then another really important one would be craws. You can throw one red craw. I had a day last year where I fished for half an hour just throwing a Texas red craw weightless during spawn, and I caught like 15 bass. So yeah, it's really good. I'll show you guys how to do a Texas rig right now. So you take the lure, usually a crawfish, you take the hook, you're going to take it and insert it through here. And then, yes, he's on a fishing, 15 bass. So I'm going to pull it through there, push it up like that, and then you're going to take the hook. And you can choose, if you really don't want your hook point to be not be exposed, like if you're fishing a lot of cover, you don't have to have it exposed, but you can also have it exposed if you want better hookup ratio, like this. And then usually you're going to want to weight on it. You want it to be super straight. But like I said, if you're fishing bass sitting on a bed, they're not going to move around. Usana Fishing, my PB is a 5.5 pound bass that I caught last spring, actually. So what you're going to do is you're just going to cast it out to the bass on the bed and let it slowly flutter down. I love red for this. Slowly flutter down, and it should just, they should just bite it, and you can hook that and bring it up. And then, let's see, let's go over some other good baits. Here's one that I haven't even talked about yet. Spinner baits are really good. These things are awesome. Like if you're watching the stream right now, guys, but spinner baits, yeah, they're so good. When you're out on like big lakes and you're pitching to the shore, use spinner baits. And like I said earlier, chatterbaits can be really helpful. yeah, I've got all kinds of little spinner baits in here. This is mostly for bass. And then let's see what I haven't really talked about yet. You can go over stuff like how to do a drop shot is really helpful. Drop shots are basically where you're going to take just usually a Texas rig hook, okay? You're going to take your worm, and you can hook it in different ways. Sometimes you even just do it like this, okay? Now you're going to take your drop shot weight. Thank you, Sauna Fishing. For saying my channel's good. You're going to tie your line through here, and there's a few different ways to do it, a few different knots. Honestly, sometimes I just tie with a super long, like, tag end, which means when you're taking, like, see this line here? You're just going to, I haven't even opened this line. You're going to take the line through here, and after you tie your knot, you're just going to leave a super long tag end, and then use your knot again to tie this to it, and you can just bounce it off the bottom. Thank you, I'm really sorry, I don't know how to say that. Paramagurov 2112 for saying you subbed. So yeah, you take this, the string is attached, and when you drop it down to the bottom, the lure is sort of going to stay suspended, and you can bounce it up and down, and that's really helpful. And then another important thing, I don't even think I've talked about this, I really need to buy more terminal tackle, guys, before the fishing season really starts, but just take a little jig head and a swim bait. Super simple. So what you're going to do is like this, rig it until it starts to curve, and then you see where the eye of your swim bait is going in. That's where you want the hook to come out, basically. So you basically mentally mark that, you rig it, and then you have a pretty straight rigging, and you can swim this, you can bounce it off the bottom like this. I have caught, all kinds of sizes of bass doing this, bouncing it off the bottom, swimming it. If you're on a boat and you are like, you have a live scope and you can cast it out and just sort of swim it back or bounce it off the bottom, which can be really helpful. So those are some really important things. Now, another thing is line selection. I don't have actually much line around me right now, but if you're going to be using like these heavier like jigs and stuff, and you're going to like heavy cover, you're going to want to use pretty heavy line. Like some people even use up to 60-pound braid. But for most of these lures, baits you're using, you're going to want between 10 and 20-pound fluoro or mono, depending. So yeah, for most of my soft plastics, I honestly just use 10-pound mono. Sauna Fishing, my favorite season, that's probably spring. Honestly, it's a really good fishing season. My favorite lure to use, that's hard, but I think the chatterbait is probably my favorite lure to use, the Reaper King. It's so good. I've caught so many big fish off of it. Make sure to like, guys, if you're on the stream right now. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, so line selection. So you're going to want not too heavy line because that can ruin the action. Another thing you need to consider line for is crankbaits. If you're using this 20-pound line with like a crankbait, it's not going to go crazy deep. Thank you for subbing the Reaper King. But yeah, you're using like 20-pound line like this for this crankbait, it is going to go pretty shallow. So you're going to want to make sure that you have the right line for what you're using. Oh, Spider-Man is from Germany. Hello. I'm just here in America. Let's see what we haven't gone over. So another fun thing can be BFS. So like, just like BFS lures. I feel like I've gone over everything, but I'll go back to crankbaits, which can be really helpful. I don't know if anyone's on here from before. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but in the spring, red square bill crankbaits are insane. This red color is really helpful. It gets reaction bites, and it's just super helpful. The bass love red because they're going after a crawfish pattern usually, although sometimes you're going to want the white because they are going after like a shad pattern. Sorry. And then sometimes you're going to want like this if they're going after a bluegill pattern. Also, Isana fishing. Okay. Also, this jerk bait. People who are on right now who know me, don't leak my name yet because I'm doing a name reveal. By the way, guys, name reveal at 500 subs. So, yeah, get me there. Like this stream if you're on, or sub, and yeah. Let's see what else. I haven't gone over these in a while. So something that's really helpful for spring is the Senko. You can wacky rig it. You can put a nail weight in and Nico rig it. So you take the head of it, you put the Nico. Sauna fishing, what do you mean like this? Yeah, so there's a lot of different things you can use. Another thing is like matching the hatch. So if you're in a pond and you're not getting bites on your crappie swim bait, try tying on a bluegill pattern instead, because that can be super helpful. Like the stream if you're watching right now, guys. Something else could be, so maybe there's not bluegill in the pond, but you know there's shad in there, then use a shad pattern swim bait. It can be really helpful. And for those people who are just getting on, I'm sharing my best pattern for spawning bass, which is taking a cross and Texas rigging it, which can be super helpful, but weightless actually, because that keeps it in the strike zone for a lot longer, whereas when you just have it on like a heavier bullet weight, it just goes straight down. So yeah, taking like just a normal Texas rig like this weightless can actually get you a lot more bites spawn fishing in my experience. Does anyone have any questions about lures? Guess I'll go over some of my other ones. I already went over this, but spinner baits can be really good for, hello Coney Timbers. Spinner baits can be really good in spring for pitching stuff, and then chatter baits can also be really good. The other thing, I don't know if I've really mentioned for topwater, is in the evening using a buzzbait, not a buzzbait, sorry, a whopper plopper in the evening can be really helpful. I've caught so many big fish off of it, like many 4-pounders. My favorite soft plasticky sauna fishing, that's hard. I mean, I'd probably go with either the craw. Well, let me think about this. The craw, what else can be good is this. Where is it? Culprit ribbon tail is really good. I like these. But probably a craw or like one of my swim baits. Probably, yeah, the rage tail craw. That can be really good. Yeah. Hello, MV Edits. Let's see. I haven't, yeah. Did I go over a Nico rig? I think I went over a Nico rig. But just to show you guys, in case you weren't here when I did it, see, for a Nico rig, you're going to take like a soft plastic. Oh, my fave topwater. That's a good question. I feel like it's a tie. It's between the whopper plopper and the buzzbait. It's one of these two. They both catch me a lot of fish, and they both catch good fish. But for evening fishing, I'm definitely going whopper plopper, and it's also really good at night. Although, I've also had a lot of good nights on poppers. Chicken E-tree, oh, okay. And then, yeah, let's go over. If you guys don't know how to use O-rings, they can be really helpful. What time is it in my country? Actually, let me check that. Let me check what time it is. It is 4:40 right now in my country, which is America. So, what else? Sorry for the background noise, guys. I can't go outside to, like, my area because it's 10 degrees out or something. But if you want to use O-rings, there's two ways to do it. So, you can either just have the single O-ring for a wacky, and you bring it out to the middle, and you're just going to hook it sideways. Ooh, my favorite crankbait That's good. Let me finish. I'll say that. I'll show that one. My favorite crankbait is going to have to be this KVD. This is for shallower water, but it doesn't work well in deep water, but unless the fish are suspended. KVD, I'm pretty sure that's what this one is. Square bill crankbait. It's a really good crankbait, Isana Fishing. I have caught, this has been a skunk saver countless times. But anyway, back to the O-ring. When you slide the O-ring over like that, you just hook it through that way. You have that, Isana Fishing? Yeah, it's really good. Look at that, and then you can do that. Or, let me see if I have any more O-rings. I may have run out, guys. I don't have that many left. Yeah. But yeah, those are some good things. Another variation you could do is putting a nail weight in the side to give it like, but that would just be a Nico rig. But yeah, you could put it in, or you could even put it in the middle if you want, like this. I forgot about this one. I haven't done this one in forever. And my favorite hard bait, I think I already went over that. These are good questions, Isana Fishing, but it's got to be this chatterbait. I've caught many huge bass on it and so many fish. In fact, I caught my last fish in the open water of 2025 on it. It was that chatterbait right there. Although, yeah, it's pretty good. So you put this nail weight through the middle, and then, no, I didn't catch my last bass of 2025 Isana Fishing, clearly, but I caught my last open water bass, so like out before it froze on that. So if you want the bait to, if you're throwing like a wacky in deeper water, you put the nail weight in the middle, and then you just let it fall. Okay, chicken tree, see you're saying 6 times. What do you mean that's not? A chatterbait is a hard bait, Isana Fishing. But okay, if you mean hard bait, if you don't count the chatterbait, I'm probably again going to have to go with the KVD square bill if you're going to say you don't want the chatterbait. Or maybe some sort of jerk bait. Maybe one of these jerk baits. But they're both pretty good. And then something I haven't gone over. This is more for summer fishing, but when the bass are just hunting bait, Nessie 5-inch glide bait can be so good. You just pop off this, swim it through. It's really good. So yeah, it's really helpful. And then if you're going after bigger bass, that can also be good, but you might want bigger than the 5 or 6 inch. You might want the 7-inch thing. Okay guys, I have to wrap up because I have sports, but if you like this, consider liking. As always, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Bye guys.